Hi there, my name is Eddie and welcome to Eddie's Research. Research in the news. Well, this one's a little bit different than normal research. Now, this is research that most people find interesting and useful, unless of course you live in an igloo or somewhere without electricity, in which case it's pointless. If you have no electricity, you won't be able to watch this video, obviously. It's about light bulbs, or to be more specific, energy efficient light bulbs. Just so you know, this image here is the latest thing that I released just recently. You may be wondering why I'm looking into this, as everyone on the planet knows there's something wrong with the climate, and that this is one way we can all help. Now, I'm not going to look at the whole climate issue, as I don't have the time for it, but this is one thing I will look at. Why? Well, it's all because of a few months ago I was popping in a few light bulbs at home, and we noticed that they hardly last that long compared to the old-fashioned type of bulbs. So I decided to take a look. So for this type of research, I'm going to hopefully look at a few things. The background and why the old-fashioned bulbs are being replaced. What are the many options of replacement bulbs? How long they stay versus how long a typical household will use them. How much they cost, what they're made of, how they're recycled, and the costs and stuff like that. So as you can guess, it may be a bit of a lengthy bit of research. Hopefully it won't bore you all completely. So without further ado, let's begin. Firstly, the old-fashioned light bulbs. I say old-fashioned as there is a lot of younger generation that will have no idea they even existed and what the hell they were. Well, for many years there was actually only one type of bulb, the bayonet. The screw type appeared at a much later date, but the actual bulb itself is of the same type of material. It's basically had a wire filament that when heated to a high temperature then began to burn brightly. The filament was protected by a glass bulb which was filled with an inert gas or vacuum. The typical bulbs were of the wattage 40, 60 and in some cases 100, although that was very bright and it burned your retinas out. So according to this website, here it is, the nature of light. You can see the lumens, the LW and the efficiency for each type of bulb wattage. Now, there's a lot to it to say the least, but if you scroll near the bottom, you'll see this small table. There it is. And you can see the 40 wattage bulb is 505 lumens, because this is useful when you actually are buying your bulbs, and you tend to be standing there thinking, what the heck, Aruni is a 870? It's a 60 watt, stuff like that. So I've posted it here on the screen in front of your eyeballs so you can see it a bit more easier than that sworn little picture. But they were very fragile. Many a time when you were putting in a new bulb, if the fitting was old, you could be scared that the bulb was smashed in your hands. Now this rarely actually happened, but you're always kind of scared. Or if you dropped it, the bulb smashes. And as it was just glass, the shards could be very sharp, and you had to be careful to make sure that all picked up. Add to the fact that the actual filament inside was just fragile as well. One tap too much and you can see it break, and then it's useless bulb. There's nothing worse than putting in a new bulb and then noticing the little filament dangling away. It's like, ah, great, another waste of time. And then we come on now to recycle them. Well, you didn't. They were just chucked into the normal household waste. That's because of the glass and the filament. They're too fragile, so in this current world of we must recycle everything, it was a waste. And in case you don't know what one looks like, and yes, you can still buy them, here's one. You can still buy these. I know the EU have banned them, but UK is coming out of the EU, or we're out of the EU, so maybe we can buy them again. But I'm not too sure if we'll want to. Anyway, they're not actually that cheap these days. Anyway, I digress. Let's move on to the next main part of the research. Now, there are a lot of different types of energy efficient bulbs out there, ranging from the tiny ones that sit in your cooker, you know, when you open the door and the little light appears, all the way to the massive spotlights in the garden, and each have a different type of fittings, lumens, energy efficiency, and of course, the price. For example, in the old-fashioned one here, this was just originally at the bayonet. I think this was like £10 to buy 5 of these things from somewhere. In fact, I'll just get that image for you. Yep, here we are in light bulb world. For one bulb is £4.20 for one bulb. Probably because they're very rare. And they couldn't be phased out, so some people might still want one of these. And you basically you push this. You've still got some of these bayonet types nowadays, but you push that in, and obviously nowadays it's not too bad because you just hold this, whatever. But this is the bit that you're kind of always worrying about, that this could just shatter in your hands. It never, like I said, never really did. And then this is the little filament here. You can just see there. And this would be the thing that just dangle off, so you look at it and it wouldn't be like that, it would be just sort of hanging off here. This won't be connected, and it's like, great, but the bulb gone, waste of time. And they rust as well. This is metal under here, so these used to rust sometimes. So it is what it is. They lasted a hell of a long time. So eventually the screw types appeared, like this, but with the screw here on the end. But there was normally for the kind of side lamps, not for your main light in the house. Nowadays you have to know the exact size, and if you happen to have spotlights in your bathroom, you need to ensure there is specific voltage, otherwise the power might not be enough and they appear dim. That's for modern day stuff, not these ones. So with this in mind, I'm actually going to just focus on one bulb. Only one, I hear you yell? Yep, because hopefully the findings for this will be useful in all the others. Now, here we are, we're in a company that we've all heard of, well, they have it in the UK, called Homebase. And I picked this lamp, this light even, this bulb, screw type, a warm 40 watt ES 2-pack TCP LED. You can look here if you want to, it's still available if you want to buy it. Delivery not available, which is fantastic considering all the shops are just starting to reopen. But there'll probably be a queue as long as your arm, and you have to wait 4 hours to get inside. So the box of the one that we were just looking at there actually looks like this. So there is the box. Now that's off the image that we've got there. Now, in case you're confused, as I tend to be with these type of lights, the actual supplier TCP, this is the supplier TCP, has a great website full of really good information. So I'll just show you that one. So here we are, TCP, and tells you all about it. Long life, energy savings, cost effective. What is a CFL even there? All different types. A squirrely type of. I don't even know why anybody want a squirrely type, but there you go. An eco halogen. They do look nice though, I must admit. So there you go. So we're back here again. So in that it explains what each type of bulb is, the life, the cost effective. So in this case, this one here is actually no mercury used. So that's a good thing. It has an energy rating of A+. Somewhere. I think I found that on the back of the box somewhere. So for this is actually, it's using that handy diagram that we've all seen on many products these days. And that's this one. There's the A+. Now, this is actually an EU rating scheme. There's the EU symbol. It's the EU rating scheme, believe it or not. And to summarise the energy efficiency of buildings in the EU, it's nothing to do with the light bulb, it's to do with the buildings in the EU. Now, the UK recently, as we all know, has left the EU, so I'm not going to go into details on that one. So it shouldn't come as a surprise unless you've been living under a rock for the past 4 years. So the partial query is, will the UK still use this chart or adopt their own? Like everything that we've got. Who knows? But at the moment, let's just pretend that we're still using it for this thing. So this bulb is an A+, so it's pretty darn good. It states that it's a long life. That's 25 years. So instantly it's a seller. A+, 25 years, sorted, I'll buy it. It's going to last me 25 years. Awesome, let's get it. And that's what it looks like on the back. It's a bit grainy, but there are some wordings at the bottom and I've kind of written I've read here. So you can see there's the mercury, there's no mercury, the voltage, the hours used, that percent straight from 0 seconds or whatever, no dimble, on and off, websites, the Kelvin and the lumens, and then for the UK, lifetime loading is done. So you can see all that there, and that is the typical box, or that is the box, because I took the photo myself. Now it all looks pretty impressive, but why do we still have to buy them? What I mean is, if this bulb lasts 25 years, but it only costs £6 for a pack of 2 bulbs, how on earth can the companies that produce them make any profit? Well, it's that famous small print, of course. So on the front of the box, you can see the asterisk just after the years. There. And if you look in the back of the box, the asterisk is there. 25 years, if used for only 2.7 hours a day. Now, who on earth uses a light bulb for less than 3 hours a day? When it gets dark at say 4 PM some parts of the year, all the way till you tend to go to bed, which for most is 11 PM, but not for me, I'm a night owl, so I'm usually up at 1 AM. Recording this at 10:30, so there you go. So, like I say, if I'm up for longer than 3 hours, I've gone over the thing. Also, it states it has a maximum of 15,000 on and off switches. I've got maths going here, so bear with me. So can we actually determine some things out based on this? Well, yes we can. We're going to look at the 25 years bit in a minute. Now, I've got a bit of maths going here. I have got this in my article if you want to read it. But you're quite happy to do it yourself if you've got a calculator. But I'll try and speak it out loud, and then you can look at the video, because there's no point in me posting the image here, because your eyeballs will give up. Now, remember on the back it states the 25,000 hours as its lifetime. This is its lifetime, 25,000 hours. But that isn't in years. 25,000 hours is actually 2.85 calendar years, which is 34 months, or 2 years and 10 months. So, well, that's interesting. What happened to that 25-year part? It's from a little bit about the 2.7 hours per day. 2.7 hours times 365 equals 985.5 hours. Okay, your 985.5 you then times by this 25, which gives 24,637, which is roughly the 25,000 hours that they brag about. So if you only turn it on for that very short period of day, you're sorted. But what happens if you leave it turned on for a typical evening, say from 6 till 11:30, so I'll say 5.5 hours? Well, that's roughly twice the allocated time. So the 2.7 hours, I can't move my mouse there, it's 2.7 hours times the 2 is 5.4. So we have to divide the 25,000 by 2 to get the 12,500. And then that calculates to half the amount of years, which is 12.5 years. But that still doesn't make any sense, because I'm pretty sure most of us have had the same bulb for over 10 years. The on and off switch doesn't cause any issues, according to what I've read about when looking up on this. But then why does it state the 15,000 on and offs here? The reason I ask this is if you switch it on and leave the 2.7 hours and then switch it off, that will be 2 times switches. You switched it on, switched it off. So with this in mind, using for a typical 25,000 hours, as stated here, that would be the 15,000, yeah, because 25,000 hours divided by 2, because you've got your, sorry, 15,000 here. 15,000 divided by the 2 to get your on and off per use is 7,500 times that you can turn it off or on and off again. Okay. So the 7,500 times the 2.7, which is the amount of hours that you can use when turning it on and off for the time stated, is 20,250 hours. That doesn't make any sense either. So it is something that I know a lot of people out there will hardly ever do. I contacted the manufacturer. And here's my email. Dear sir, I'm hoping that you can clarify something regarding LED light bulbs. You can see I've sent it to them. I've just purchased the TCP LED Classic 40 watt ES warm bulbs and was looking at the information at the back of the box. While I understand about the bulb being affected by the amount of hours used, that is, if I go over the stated 2.7 hours per day, then the lifetime will diminish, I'm a bit confused with the on and off being only 15,000. Is that calculated as switch on and then off equals 1x, or switch on and then off equals 2x? I'm trying to figure out if the on and off affects the lifetime, 25 years in this case, because if it doesn't, why is it stated? I look forward to replying on this issue. Kind regards, Eddie. And I actually got a reply. Good morning. This is from them. The lifetime of the bulb is affected by switching on and off many times, but mainly by the left. I'm assuming that's by the left of time the bulb is on and in use. Both will lower the lifetime. The lifetime has to be stated on the packaging by law, but that does not mean that the bulb will last this length of time. Now that's interesting. So yes, the lifetime of a bulb is affected by switching it on and off many times. Now if you search in Google about the same question, everyone comes back and says it doesn't affect the life of the LED bulb. So here we are on an official government website. Yes, it's American, but you can tell it's American because it's got, I think it's the Homeland Energy. I'm not that good at American things, obviously, because I'm British, but it is an American website. This is official. Scroll down, and here we are. The operating life of a light emitting diode is unaffected by turning it on and off. While lifetime is reduced for fluorescent lamps, the more often they are switched on and off, there is no negative effect on the LED lifetime. This characteristic gives LEDs several distinct advantages when it comes to operations. For example, LEDs have an advantage when used in conjunction with occupancy sensors or daylight sensors that rely on on-off operation. Also, in contrast to traditional technologies, LEDs turn on at full brightness almost instantly with no delay. LEDs are largely unaffected by vibration because they don't have filaments, which is true, they don't. Well, that's a load of rubbish then, isn't it? As the manufacturer here has said, it is affected by switching it on and off many times. It's also affected by the length of time it's left on, which is the 2.7 hours. There. Longer than that reduces the bulb's lifetime, which we already know, so that's good to see that they actually said the same thing. But the real crunch of the reply was this bit. The lifetime has to be stated on the packaging by law, but that does not mean that the bulb will last this length of time. So there you have it. Even though there's a lifetime on the packet, if you use it for more than 2.7 hours a day, turn it on and off more than 15,000 times, then the life will diminish. Or they also have to put this down as a rough estimate, as no one knows how long any person will leave a light switched on. That's what I think anyway. For example, we have one in the porch. So they're used for less than 2.7 hours a day, so you would assume it'll last longer. But then we'll be switching it on and off when coming in, and then a bit later may go back to get something, maybe your coat, etc. So you switch it on and off again. You go out, you come back in the dark, so you switch it on and off again. So in the space of say 2.7 hours, we've switched it on and off 3 or 4 or more times, which will reduce the lifetime a lot. So there you go. You can probably look at light bulbs in a whole new way, maybe, I don't know, as in looking for the small print for the hours and the on and off, and taking that lifetime with a pinch of salt, and realise that yes, not in 25 years but a year, you may have to splash the cash on a new bulb. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed this bit of research. It was a bit different than I normally do, and I kind of like doing things that people tend not to do. You know, I don't think many people have looked at a light bulb, and many people think, well, why the hell have you done it? Because it's a bit of a boring subject, but it's not, because everybody has bought a light bulb in one of these boxes, maybe not this company, but in these, and then gone, 25 years sorted, I'll buy this expensive one, and then a year later it's gone. And you think, well, that didn't last. Like, we've got LEDs, spotlights. They don't seem to last very long at all. But on the box, they say they last for, like, I think 12 years. But now I know why they last for 12 years. They don't last for 12 years. In fact, this 25 years doesn't even need to be there, but looking at the calculations, you can see where they all come up with. We calculated it all. So it is useful, I would say. Anyway, as always, leave a comment in the comments box below if you like this video. If you want any more research or you have any ideas, let me know. I've got other things lined up, as usual. But it's all a question of time and energy and whatnot. Subscribe to my channel. Also visit my actual website where I've got the video, and I've got the article in Word document, PDF, and zipped it up in Word document, so you can download that if you don't want to open a document straight away. Okay, thank you for watching, and goodbye.